Well, this is just lovely. Starting off to be another beautiful day of nothing but problems. So me being young and ambitious and half retarded decided that I would get over here and start hauling dirt at Alonso's today. We had a couple inches of rain, throughout the last 2 weeks. But I had it all stacked up and packed to where it should drain off, and it's been sunny and dry for about 3 days, and it doesn't matter. As soon as I back down in on the bench, now you can see Wilbur, he's not totally buried. He's just stuck in goop. With him having those bald tires, y'all have seen it before, I can't get any traction. And it doesn't help that rear axle is not a drive axle, so when I start going back in goop, that axle really bogs down. And so it made my rear middle axle, my rear drive axle, made it spin, dig a hole, and then the front spun a little bit too, and I was done. So not even gonna fool with it. I'm not moving at all. I already got Rosie in position to go ahead and yank it out of here. Just gotta walk over to the house and get some scraps. Meanwhile, it's gonna change. I did walk out on top of this that I built up before with Rosie. It's not nice. It's very doughy, very nasty. So I think I'm gonna spend some time baling dirt. I'm gonna get Wilbur jerked back up out of here where he needs to be on good solid ground. And then I'm gonna drive out, because that bench that Wilbur's on is good hard clay. I have no problem sitting on that. So I'm gonna drive out on that and just start working on the back end of the pond, trying to get all this overburden baled forward. I really didn't want to bale it because I baled so much dirt on this job, but there's no sense in trying to back Wilbur right back down on it. And then on top of that, it's just so gooey that I'm afraid I'm gonna load it up in his bed. It's gonna be extra heavy, and then it's not gonna dump out good. The bed's gonna get stuck full of crap. So yeah, spent an hour or so this morning getting Wilbur prepped and ready to go, and I guess I'll just take him back home once I get him out. Well, I just try to give you guys a little update and try to explain what I'm doing at Alonso's now. This stuff is garbage. It's the same goopy crap that I have at my place, no doubt. This morning, when I came in, this little haul road here was a little bit lower down and was actually below the level of the goop. I tried to drive out on top of the goop again. By the time I got out to the end, I was almost stuck. I was bellied out, spinning both tracks, but luckily I was able to get just enough firm ground that I was able to push and pull myself back out of it. Oh. So what we did was came back out here to the end. This is not ideal, but Lord, at this point in the game, I'm used to it. I feel like I do it all the time. Started baling more. I baled a lot of overburden here. Baled all up and over. I mean, just flip, 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 shove it out with the bucket. Takes a lot of time and it really sucks, but just go slow and steady. I mean, you could go fast and steady, I guess, but just get it out of the way, because I can't get the truck in here yet, and I think I can now, but I couldn't get the truck in here this morning to start hauling it out. Once I got all that out of the way, you can see I've really started cutting down this far end bank. So this corner, that's taken all the way down to the caliche, which is about 15 feet deep. Alonso doesn't really want to go any deeper than that. But I think, I calculated the volumes at about 10 feet. So if I take it down to 15, hopefully we have more than enough. Plus I'm starting to gain a little ground here in the bottom of what was the old pond. I'm still trying to get it pumped out all the way. I'm gonna get it all pumped out as much as I can anyway, and then try to be able to shove more of this muck over into the bottom of it and keep working in this corner right here, pulling more back to me. Just trying to deepen what I can and dig out all this material. So you can see we're about rounded out there. It's about another 10 degrees to go, and then we're on the straightaway again. So you kind of start to get an idea of the volume that we have in here, or the volume that's at our disposal. You know, it feels like it'll be enough this time, but I always say that, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. But anyway, yeah, so got the muck out of the way, started digging more clay in this corner, moved some clay over to this side so that I could actually build me a little road out into that a little bit further because I couldn't quite reach that corner. So dumped some clay over here, got out on it, flipped more and more and more muck back, and then finally started rounding out that corner. So I'm at a point now that I think I can actually get Wilbur in here. Ideally anyway, get Wilbur backed up to about here. Rosie will be parked here and start loading out some of this muck. That's my hope. I'm gonna try to bring him over here after lunch and just see. I'm not worried about sinking now. I'm not worried about getting stuck like I did yesterday because all this clay is good solid stuff. It will bog down a little bit every probably 3 or 4 loads out. I'll probably have to come back through and fill the ruts in, but I'm not gonna spin and get stuck. So like I said, that's the hope. I'm gonna go eat lunch. I've got to get Fuel and Rosie, and then I'm gonna try to get Wilbur in here and just see if I can't at least, well, I don't know, maybe I won't have time to get Wilbur in here today. We'll see how Fuel and everything else goes, whether I feel like I have time to actually bring him over here or not. All right, we're gonna call this effectively the end of day 1. Had I been able to commit, 8 to 10 straight hours of work without any ignorant breakdowns or other issues, this is what we would have gotten done. So anyway, it's been 3 days of off and on work. I only got about 2 hours in the machine today, if that, hour and a half. By the time I got the repair made on the hoses and then went to town, got diesel, oil, stuff for the goats, all that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But maybe now it's making a little more sense to you guys what I'm doing as far as bailing all this clay back. So ultimately now, this is a little gooey on here, but it'll hold up Wilbur for sure. I want to make it wider because it's straight off the edge here. So what I've been working on doing is taking the rest of this edge right here, about another 4 feet out, and filling in with clay. And of course, all the muck and all the overburden crap, this is all, will all be topsoil and lawn fill essentially. It's not necessarily all topsoil, but it's not good clay either. That'll all, I'm just stacking it as high as I can just to get it out of my way, and I'm just about maxed out. I need to walk around the back here and see how close I actually am to the trees on that side, but ultimately I'm just stacking it all up as high as I can, and making my little haul road here. I want it to actually be, this wide, enough room that I've got no questions. I can back Wilbur in here, park, and then we'll be able to just start on this back end and just be cutting clay and hauling it out. And as I'm building up my clay haul road, that gets me a good solid base close enough to those trees that then I can actually cut out all of this overburden as well, so I can load it directly into Wilbur. So once I finish this little bit, I need about, I don't know, 2 more hours would do it, no problem, in Rosie, but I'm out of time for today. Gotta go check the goats and run the bus route. But anyway, get that finished out. That gives me more than enough room to get Wilbur in here. And then I'll be able to just start, hopefully, going steady, clay and or overburden, whichever one I can haul. All this overburden is going to get hauled and dumped into there, pushed out as best I can, or it's going to go over here to what'll be in front of his garage, and all the clay, of course, is all going in that corner for the house pad. So anyway, chance of rain tomorrow. Sounds like it's going to shut me down, but of course I've got other stuff to work on. I think it'll stop me here. We'll just have to see what it looks like in the morning. What it does. If it's kind of off and on rain, I might come and just deal with it. Steady rain's not going to work. But I'll just show you what's going off the deep end here. So this is now essentially the new bottom of the pond, and this is great because this gives me a good wide area. That's all finished grade. Alonso actually came out here yesterday and saw it. He's really happy with it. I was worried he might think it was a little too steep, but I really, it looks, from this angle, it looks pretty steep, but I really don't think it is. I think it's, 45 degrees, which, yeah, it might be a little steep for a pond bank, but that's about the steepest you can go for an undisturbed. I think a 60 degrees is technically the steepest you can go for an undisturbed clay, but I could take a little bit more out of this corner, probably in here. But anyway, this gives me a good, wide, flat bottom to the pond. And so this can effectively be like how my pond was. Now, once I get all of this clay hauled out, if it's not enough, I can actually get back down in here on this bottom. We get a rain, whatever, it'll get some water, it'll silt in, we'll pump it out. But I can get back down here on this bottom and actually dredge further deeper out there if I want to. There's pretty much, it's all muck. But I might be able to stack enough of the muck out of the way that then I could get a little bit more good clay. So anyway, I'm happy the way things are turning out. I'm so much happier with how the pond extension is going versus how the original pond went. That was a nightmare. I made so many stupid mistakes, and I'll be the first to admit it. Anyway, we gotta go check on some goatees and go drive a school bus.